The past few days, the US has just copped $13 billion worth of nuclear war doomsday planes, and people are now asking, why now? What do you know that we don't? Boeing's year couldn't get any worse because you will cry when you find out where one of their plane's emergency slides washed up. This cat was accidentally packed in an Amazon returns box and shipped 1,000 miles away. Things are getting seriously out of control in American universities, and a new report is revealing a disturbing trend between female teachers and their students. All of that and more, so let's get cracking. Okay, let's kick this video off with a trip to the zoo that these children will remember for the rest of their lives. And all I'm going to say is pay attention to these small, innocent, baby, harmless ducklings.
That's not nice.
Yes, these poor 5 little ducklings were met with a grisly end. I mean, the effort that we put into these videos to come up with puns like that, that's all me, not Alex. Could Alex make that joke better? I don't think so. A zoo bear named Juniper jumped into this pond at a little girl's birthday party with all of her friends and devoured, yum yum yum, these ducklings. Oh, that weren't actually supposed to be there. They just landed in that enclosure. Wrong enclosure to land in. And he devoured these ducklings just inches away from all of these children. Hey, I mean, that's one way to get thrown in the deep end of nature is cruel. That's nature. It's perfectly normal. It's just animals doing their thing. Moving on. Sticking with animals, though, this woman's cat, which went missing earlier this month, has just been found 1,000 miles away from her home. And that's because she was accidentally shipped in an Amazon's return box to California. Now, our owners say that Moggy the cat was peacefully sleeping in one of these boxes because she loves boxes. But this time, the owner said that she didn't notice the cat inside when she taped it off and sent it out to Amazon. Just thinking about it now, actually, someone who very much disagrees with what the owner says is Alex the editor. And let me expose him because he exposed me playing an audio clip. Alex, you are not allowed to cut this out either, because this is what you thought and you still believe. So how about you stand on your opinions? So I sent this video to Alex for him to edit for TikTok, and this is what he said back. Ready? Just listen to this.
That bitch is fucking crazy. She drugged her cat and then mailed it off to someone. 100%. 100%. Look at her face. Look at her eyes. She's fucking crazy. With that bias, I present the video for checks. I tried to bring my bias out of this, but she's fucking crazy.
Okay, Alex. So Alex is on the side that this is done purposefully. And you know, that is very not the editor that you guys love, huh? You guys were loving him for... Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, let's move on. Now, Moggy somehow survived 6 days without any water or food, and the only reason she luckily survived is because one of the box's seams was slightly opened, so she didn't suffocate to death. When the Amazon worker opened this box and found that there was an alive cat in it, quickly took it to the vet. Her microchip was scanned, and her owners quickly flew to California, 1,000 miles away, to pick up Moggy. Which, I'd just like to say, you know, would you do that to a cat that you purposely drugged and shipped off because you're crazy? Crazy in the eyes, especially, which is what Alex said.
No idea how the cat ended up in California, but now we can go to California for my birthday.
The box I packed myself. No way.
He forgets. He's silly. And it's my birthday. So, yeah. Anyway, now we can definitely go to California for my birthday.
And the most ironic thing about all of this is one of the boxes of shoes inside the box which the cat was mailed in was named Cat. What are the chances? So I guess the question is, do you agree with Alex on this one, or do you agree with me that it was just an accident? No, I'm thinking, I don't think I have the people on my side for this one, because the last video, I don't know what Alex did in it, but people love him. Actually, let me read a comment. I swear this actually isn't even part of the video. I don't mean to have this in, but one comment, which I just thought was absolutely wild. Someone said, "I bloody love you, Alex. I can see why a woman allowed you to give her your seed." For context, Alex just had a baby. I don't even know what to say about that. Anyway, how about we start talking about Alex, get to editing, and let's move on. Okay, this next story is probably one of the most insane turn of events I've probably ever heard. Now, it's absolutely no secret that Boeing is not having the greatest year. And then, on Friday, just to make matters worse, a Delta Airlines Boeing 767 was forced to land after its emergency slide fell off the plane during takeoff. Officials have been searching for it ever since, but to no avail. But then, today, out of all of the places this slide could have washed up, it turned up right in front of a beachside house belonging to a lawyer whose firm is currently suing Boeing over safety issues right now. I mean, if Boeing's year couldn't get any worse. Now, the lawyer's firm filed a lawsuit against Boeing following their door blowout in January. I hope you remember that one, Alaska Airlines. We're now finding out that the plane which the emergency slide fell out of was just having a little bit of a senior moment because it's actually 33 years old. For context, a commercial pilot told the New York Post that passenger planes typically only have a lifespan of around 20 to max 25 years. 33. That's ancient. Anyway, a few hours after the lawyer and his neighbor called Delta, a crew of Delta workers arrived, fished it on out of the water, and they were gone 10 minutes later. And then, literally just before I was recording this video, so I don't have any more context to this story than this. So this story actually comes with a disclaimer because... Please get signal. Please, I don't want to have to open this door. Wi-Fi? No. Ah, yes! Haha, okay. So this story comes with a little bit of a disclaimer because it hasn't been fact-checked and run through like the NEWSDADDY empire like all of the other stories do. Because I literally just saw this right now. A second whistleblower connected to Boeing has suddenly died at the age of 45 after catching a sudden illness. Whistleblower Joshua Dean was known for being in good health and having a healthy lifestyle. I don't know, that sounds kind of sus. Sus for the thing that I'm reading, not sus for... You get it. Dean was one of the first whistleblowers to accuse Boeing supplier Spirit AeroSystems of cutting corners. He was fired in April 2023. Oh God, the interruptions today. Oh, it's Elliot contacting me on my walkie-talkie of an Apple Watch. You can just contact me at any point. Elliot, I'm recording a video, so shut up. Sorry about that. Dean was rushed to hospital 2 weeks ago for having trouble breathing. His condition began to worsen. He was incubated and developed pneumonia before contracting a bacterial infection, MRSA. According to a CT scan, he also suffered a stroke.
This part in. Rumor on the street is Dylan secretly doesn't like his editor, Alex. He actually hates him.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just keep...
It's funny that you say that because this vibe of the video was, let's just say that was on topic. Dean was represented by the same law firm who represented Boeing whistleblower John Barnett, who allegedly committed suicide in March.
So Mom said that she's tired of doing your laundry and that you need to start pulling your own weight around the house.
I do not live with my mother. I have my very own house, actually. Oh my God, this is supposed to be a news program. This is like a family reunion. Let's move on. Anyway, I'll do more research on that and then I'll tell you whether it's sus or not in the next video. Oh, but you thought that the bad news for Boeing just stopped there. No, I already had another story before the other one. That is terrible for Boeing. The US has just announced a new $13 billion contract to replace their doomsday planes, which if you didn't know are the ones that whisk away the president and other VIPs in the event of a nuclear attack. So you might be wondering, like a lot of other people seeing this story, why now? Do you know something that we don't? Should we be getting our own doomsday planes? But, you know, our own broke version of that, like a doomsday hole in our back garden. Well, you may have your theories, but I wouldn't start digging yet because the current fleet, which, important part, are made by Boeing, have been in operation since the 1980s. So they say they're now aging and they need to be replaced. So I'm sure it doesn't have anything to do with the current state of the world. And interestingly, as I might have already hinted, they didn't give the contract back to Boeing. They gave it to a new company called the Sierra Nevada Corporation. $13 billion? That's a big-ass contract to lose. Apparently, the US government and Boeing couldn't agree on a price, so the US government just said, fine, we'll do our doomsday shopping elsewhere. Now, these end-of-the-world planes are meant to serve as a command center in the sky for the government, when everything going down there is just anarchy, chaos, death, and all of that. Each plane can hold up to 112 people, and they currently have 4. It has advanced satellite communication systems, nuclear and thermal shielding. It's supposed to be capable of remaining airborne for close to a week if they need it. Thank you, in-flight refueling. But the longest they've got on actual tests is 35 hours, so very different to 6 days. And since all technology like touch screens, etc. would absolutely fry in a nuclear event, all of the stuff that they use, like instruments in here, they're all analog. The project is called the Survival Airborne Operations Center, and it's expected to be complete by 2036. So over 10 years away. And if a bomb does hit before then, Biden or whoever is, gets in at that point, I wish you the best, and I hope that your emergency slides or doors don't pop off because I'm not even gonna say why. But let's move from extremely bad luck to extremely good luck, because a man battling cancer for the last 8 years has just won the 4th largest Powerball lottery jackpot ever at a staggering $1.3 billion. Charlie, who moved to the US 20 years ago from Laos, I think that's how you pronounce it, bought 20 Powerball tickets with his wife and his friend. Could be tricky if you actually won, and he did. And when he did find out, he called his wife and said,
Where you going? What are you doing now? She said, I'm driving on the way to work. And I told her, you don't have to go work now.
And unlike a whole bunch of you watching, and probably even Alex too, let's be honest, Charlie decided to stay true to his friend and his wife and split the money with them. What a guy. And he might even have a fantastic excuse to blow all of this money. Because since he's been battling cancer for the last 8 years, he doesn't even know how long he'll have to spend all of it.
I'm in the middle of the battling cancer. So I've been thinking, how am I going to have time to spend all of this money?
To be fair, he does have 2 kids, so he could just pass it down to them. Oh, and if you're wondering, how much tax would you actually pay on $1.326 billion? Well, it says here that the whole lottery win is reduced by $904 million, and so they get a final cash payout of $422 million. I mean, the government is winning the jackpot every single day at this point. And also, if you were thinking, oh, what if he just dies and then he passes it down to his children? Well, his children would then have to pay more inheritance tax on that money, which in Oregon, which is where he lives, is 10 to 16%. And it will definitely be the 16% because that's a large sum of money. And that is exactly how they have $13 billion to spend on a couple of doomsday planes. Moving on. Okay, remember those protests that I spoke about last week in American universities? On Wednesday, they ramped up to proportions that honestly, I personally couldn't believe, and you probably won't be able to believe this either. Full-blown anarchy and chaos has erupted in a number of universities across the country, and as Alex is showing you right now, this situation is getting very serious. Now, I'm gonna have to be careful with what kind of visuals I show you on here, because as you might have noticed, my last video got age restricted for 18 plus. For no good reason. I appealed the decision and I won, but it already killed the views anyway. Most likely as the corn casserole, let's be honest.
Corn casserole.
Anyway, hundreds of police with riot gear and even freaking trucks like this decided to move into Columbia Uni's campus in New York because a number of pro-Palestinian protesters decided to barricade themselves inside one of the buildings. And I mean, just to show you how serious they were, they even created little pulley systems with buckets and rope to make sure that they can get food and water and supplies inside the building. Since then, their pulley systems weren't really needed because the police have raided that building. They've arrested a bunch of those students, and the university said that they will expel those people who were illegally occupying the building. But you gotta understand that these protests and these police clashes are not just happening across America, from New York to California to Texas to Florida, but also around the entire world. Even where I am right now in the UK, universities have begun protesting and setting up their own encampments in solidarity to the pro-Palestinian protesters in the US. But the really horrific thing to see about all of this is that in response to the protests for Gaza, pro-Israel individuals who are on campus have also now come out, and there have been very, very violent clashes between these two sides. And honestly, I'm not going to show any videos on here because they are really bad. They're really bad fights, and they're using weapons and all sorts.
Somebody is being badly beaten at the bottom of that brawl right there. Where are the police? Where is security? Where are these people? Where is authority here? Oh, look at that. Somebody just took a pallet to the head. I have never seen it. In my career, I have never seen this level of violence without any response from any kind of law enforcement or authority whatsoever.
So honestly, I hope all of this violence and these arrests can just end and they can go back to studying. But while there's a whole bunch of outrage at these schools, I am shook that there's not more outrage in these schools. A shocking new report, which is getting very little attention right now, is the sheer amount of female teachers that are being arrested for doing things with their underage students that I can't even say on here. If I hear one corn casserole in this segment, Alex, we're done. Joking, we'll never be done. Ever.
Corn casserole.
And what's crazy is that there's not even any centralized data to track this horrific trend. But because of that, when the Daily Mail decided, let's just do it ourselves, they found that in just the last 12 months alone, 25 female teachers have been arrested for you-know-whatting their young male students. Oh, and in 16 different states too. So this is a countrywide thing. A leading child psychologist says that he believes there's a rise in cases because of the teachers' uses of social media, allowing easy access to contact one another, and because some of these teachers, as you've seen in the news before, I'm assuming, they have OFans account, which students can access. Imagine your teacher having one of those accounts. Recipe for disaster. And we even had a perfect example of this just 3 weeks ago when this teacher, who posed as a 14-year-old girl on Snapchat and TikTok, is now facing 11 felonies, and prosecutors say that there are 5 boys in total aged 13 and 14 who were victims. But then you quickly realize why this is getting so little public outrage. Sorry, there's a plane flying overhead. Let's just be quiet. Wonder if it's a Boeing. Watch your heads. When you read comments like this on TikTok saying, I need a girl like Alyssa Zinger, free Alyssa Zinger, and can someone be my Alyssa Zinger? I mean, let's be honest, if that teacher's name was David Zinger, those comments would be very different. In fact, it's not just the comments, because the data also supports this double standard too. When you look at the prison years that male versus female teachers got from 2013 to 2016, keep in mind, for the exact same thing, the R word, men got an average prison sentence of 9 years, while women got an average of 5. And I mean, I guess I understand why it's looked at differently by the general public, but I don't think it should be. At all. It's still an older person abusing their power and taking advantage of a minor who honestly doesn't know any difference. But I mean, either way, I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments. And you know what, before I sign today's video off, I was thinking the other day of telling my, 10 million followers over on TikTok to go and watch my YouTube stuff, because I haven't told anyone at this point. I was just thinking about flooding this account with new people, new views, etc. And I know a lot of people would come over. But you want to know what stopped me? Even though the views that I get on here are way lower than on TikTok, I'm not too sure if I even want that to change, because it feels like such a community that we have right now. And you lose that when your account gets a lot bigger and you get a lot of views. Like, I don't necessarily feel that as much on TikTok. Like right now, I can read every comment on a video. I see the same people coming back. We have inside jokes, and that is one of the main things that's really making me enjoy making these videos right now. So I'm gonna hold off a little bit longer until things change, and then we'll just flood it. But until then, I just want to let you guys know that. I mean, even saying that, I don't know how many people would even care on TikTok, but I feel like you guys would. Anyway, that is today's video. I'm signing off, and I will see you on Monday.